Hello, everybody. Thank you. It feels so good to be here. I don't think I've met anybody that has not been enthusiastic, caring. The people that Mark and Angel attract to themselves is fantastic. I am blessed. As Mark said, I've been through many challenges in my life, and I guarantee you that every one of you have been through a lot yourself. So, just like Christine says, it's how do you come out that other side? How do you bring gratitude to every situation? So my goal today for you is to give you one tool that you can take away and use at home every single day and really make the most of your life. But I didn't always used to be this way. I did not always used to be grateful. Exterior, yes, it's easy to play the part. Like, oh yes, thank you for this gift. And my wife knows me very well. She'll probably watch this video and shake her head yes. But I was possibly the worst gift receiver that anyone has ever known. And it's true. I would find little things that maybe I didn't like. So one Christmas, she gave me a speaker. Just a little portable speaker, and it wasn't the one I wanted, right? And I was like, come on. Like, I had it on my list. How hard was it, right? But, she gave me something from her heart. She did the research, and she was like, this one's better. And guess what? It was better. And I was very grateful after I understood that. But that's not something that came very naturally to me. And as kids, what gets attention? Complaining, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with complaining. Nothing wrong with complaining at all. In fact, I think one of the biggest things, it should be a tool that we use, complaining, right? Like, it's one thing that we can say is, I don't feel good today. If you don't say that to yourself inside your own head, yes, you go into work, like Courtney says, and you just kind of push through it. But the reality is you're not getting the help that you need. So complaining can help. Now, there's just that balance, right? There's that balance of being able to complain about something and either accept it or take action. And if you're not doing either one of those, then it's just going to keep going and going and going. And this is that vicious cycle that I think so many people here talked about. The Anthony talked about that trigger of like, one more thing to buy. So I want to tell a quick story. About 7 years ago, my mom came to visit us and with my dad. And my oldest son, he came into this world. He was a good kid, very happy, but he didn't like to be held by other people. And so when my mom, I guess he was just maybe a couple months old, picked him up and cried. She said, no, it's okay. And eventually he got used to her. And so he slept on her chest and her belly, and we were surprised. And then a couple months went by. We went back to visit them. They live in Pennsylvania. We live in Texas. And we went to visit them, and we were kind of leery of handing him over, as he's our first. And we handed him over, and he maybe whimpered, cried just a bit, and he calmed down quickly. And both my wife and I were like, wow, she has the magic touch. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I just got my stink on him. And I was like, stink on him? Like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, like when you allow people to be in your life and you care about them and you show them that, there's this little piece of them that rubs off on you. You get used to that. You get used to their smell. It feels comfortable to you. So I want you to get your stink on everybody in this audience here. go up to people, even if you don't know them. I know it's getting comfortable. Probably everybody sat in the same seats, right? It feels comfortable. I did the same thing. I'm sitting back there, and I sit with people that I know. It's natural. It's a part of being human, and it's part of stepping outside that comfort zone, that growth zone, right, that Marley was talking about. So one thing you have to think about as you're going out there and meeting people, you have to think, okay, what can I give to them? And that is one thing I think giving is one gift that is very sometimes hard to do for some of us. And I think if we can practice it, the more we practice it, the better we get. So like Mark said, I've been through challenge. I've had cancer. I've had an ulcer. I feel dizzy right now because I'm a little nervous, but I'm grateful for this dizziness. I really, truly am, and it's weird, right? Like, yeah, but I am. Like, I'm still here. I'm here sharing things with you. Like, I've had cancer 100 years ago. I'd be dead by now. I would not be able to be here and share this stuff with all of you, and I feel so grateful for that. About 5 months ago, my father passed away. He was 70, lived a good life, and it was hard. The grieving process is different for everybody. But like Christine said, it's coming through and finding that portal. How do you come out that other side? So when I went to visit him, he's a tough German. He's worked to the last about month of his life. He had fevers, and he still had a job he had to go to with my brother, and he finished that job because that is what he did. When I went to hug him in the hospital, he was in the ICU. He was soft to the touch, and I was like, this isn't good, right? And I cried on the spot, and he cried. I don't think I've ever seen him cry before. It was difficult, but I learned so much from him. I learned so many different tools that I can use, that I bring to you, and that's something that I'm grateful for. I can pass on his legacy to you, and my legacy can hopefully be passed on through all of you. But one of the things that I found is the simple things that we forget about, the everyday things. So when we're there, we're in the hospital. My brother and I were there for the morning and the afternoon, and I said, let's go for a walk. And I asked my dad, I was like, well, can we bring something back for you? And he said an orange. And I was like, an orange? Like, such a simple, I was thinking a coffee or an egg sandwich, and nope, just an orange. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll bring that back, no problem. So we went off, and we went for a walk, and we brought the orange back. And I held it out for him, and he smiled. It was one of the most beautiful smiles I've ever seen. He had some color come back to him, and I was struck by that. Just the gratitude that I could see inside of his body. He struggled with a lot of things, but that focus came back for a little bit. And I think gratitude helps us with focus, what to focus on. Every single day we wake up and we have 10,000 things we could focus on. We can go down certain paths, and those first couple thoughts are really what set our day. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with complaining. Complaining can help you take action. Complaining can help you say, hey, this isn't right. We need to fix this. But sometimes complaining can lead to more complaining, and our energy levels drop, and we don't feel as good as we should. And I think a lot of that starts with that mindset. And it starts with, this is my dad and my son, by the way. I love that. Yeah, can you read that? This is a bald spot, not a solar panel for a sex machine. So he definitely had a really good sense of humor, I think. But yes, there are things we can complain about every single day. Just simple little things. We can say, oh, this cup of coffee spilled over. I want a new one. Or we can say, they're busy back there. I am grateful for the time that they took to try to make this coffee the best it could be. Maybe it's not perfect, but I'm okay with it the way it is. And this, we can, this is my youngest, we can shove a sock in her mouth, but it's still, what's going on inside of her thoughts up here? What did you say? It's a dirty sock, yeah. He's like, gross. And in that case, he should complain and say, spit this out of my mouth. This is gross. So I want to tell you a valuable lesson, my son. This is my oldest. This is Gavin. The other one was Eric. Feedback, right? Every single day we're getting feedback. And my son loves to give me feedback. He lives to give me feedback. Like every day it's something that I'm not doing quite right. And so I'm trying to teach him the tools that you're learning right now. I'm trying to teach to my son. Last night I used Gary's stopgo that do the opposite over the phone, over iPhone. So I'm trying to be a better dad, trying to be more grateful for that time that I do have with him. So about 3 years ago, we are at home playing probably blocks on the floor. He loved building things. And a knock comes at the door, and we go to the door, and we answer it, and a neighbor came, and he brought us cupcakes. And I was like, sweet, this is, yeah, great, like the free cupcakes, right? And my son was like, okay, bye, and he just went and sat down. He wasn't a sweet kid, and I was like, what? Like, you gotta say thank you, come on, say thank you. And he did. He's like, yeah, thank you. He's 4.5, whatever, and he's busy, and he gets in the zone. And so later that night, we're at the dinner table, and I brought it up, and I was like, you know how important it is to say thank you and be grateful, and if you want people to do things for you and help you, you have to show them how much you appreciate that. And as I'm talking to him, he cups his hands over his ears and goes, la, 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 la. I was like, what? Oh, I was so mad. My inner dad of, my father came out in me, that tough German. He was like, go to your room. Like, you can't appreciate anything. And, and all tough. And so he goes, and he didn't handle the situation very well, I have to admit. I scared him. He went off crying, and I felt bad. And so I went in, and I apologized, and I said sorry. And he really gave me a hug, which really kind of made me feel better. And he came back to the table, and we kind of sat there. And it's just something popped in my head, and I was like, okay, you're giving me feedback. This feedback that, that I need to use. I cannot just ignore it. So trying to improve on my dad. My dad would probably be like, okay, I am going to be mad at you for about 2 days, and then I'll never talk about this again, and then we'll be okay. So I said, well, what's a better way to handle that? If you want to give me feedback, that's great, but can you do it instead of doing this la 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 thing? Like, can you give me something a little more palatable that I can handle? And he said, he looked at me and he was like, kind of like, I'm not used to this guy. This guy's like trying to like work with me here, right? And so, like I said, I'm trying to improve every day. So he brings up his hands, and he just dangles his fingers in front of his face, these dancing fingers. And I start laughing, and he starts laughing, and my wife starts laughing, and it totally broke the tension in the room. And I was like, okay, I can handle dancing fingers instead of the cupping thing. And so whenever I start lecturing too much, he does the dancing fingers. It makes me a little bit angry, but I'm okay with it. I can handle it. But it's that feedback. It's that feedback we're getting from people. So if you notice when somebody doesn't return a call, it's okay. Or if somebody, stops calling you, they're giving you feedback. Maybe not feedback you're willing to listen to, but they're giving you feedback. When you go ask for help to somebody at work, are they more likely to help somebody else than they are to help you? They're giving you feedback. And one of the hardest things is to be grateful for that feedback, because they're showing you how to be a better person to them. Now, it might not always be the case. Maybe somebody feels like you need to treat them like a king or a queen, and that's not going to happen. And that's okay. So we have to be discerning in how we use that feedback, right? So same with the clients that I help. A lot of them have businesses that require getting feedback from their customers. And there's usually two boats. There's usually the, yes, I'm going to dig in, we're going to get feedback, and there's that, we're not going to get feedback from people, because if we do get feedback and they say something bad, I'll break down crying, right? They just kind of ignore it. No, they're fine, they're fine. But what I found is it's that feedback that helps us grow. It's that feedback that really spurs us into action and says, yes, I'm doing the right thing, or no, that's not working out so well. So, we got to use that stuff. And that's what I want to talk about today, is being really grateful for that feedback. So I want everybody to pull their pens out. Like I said, nothing wrong with complaining, but I want you to write down one thing that you have complained about today. Because awareness is the first step to bringing more gratitude into your life. When you're aware of these complaints, you're much more likely to then use them to help you grow. So write down just one thing. Was it your alarm clock that annoyed you? Was it a conversation that you had that somebody didn't listen to you? Was it the way the coffee tasted? What is one thing that you complained about? Okay, so next. Now you have that one thing. I want you to, he has a piece of paper in front of you. It's called 33 Circles. This is an exercise. You have 1 minute. I want you to make a design. Don't go yet, right? Hold on. I want you to make a design. Anything, anyhow, any way. I want you to make a design out of these circles. You have 1 minute. Go. Okay, does anybody want to show their masterpiece off? Anybody? Here we go. A bunch of lines. Let's bring it up for the camera. Can I show another person? Okay. Triangles and squiggly lines, right? They're both brilliant. I love them. There was nothing, any design you did, whoever didn't design, they're in my doghouse, though. I am very ungrateful for them. No, just kidding. Thank you. But whatever design that you have to think, okay, I'm grateful that I had a solution to this problem. Now, why I did this is it's a creativity exercise. I bet you if we could do Groundhog Day, I guarantee you 99 out of 100 times you probably would do the exact same type of pattern again and again and again and again and again and again. And I'm pretty sure, I can't guarantee this, I can't guarantee we will ever have a Groundhog's Day that we could all try this out on, but we come to everything that we do and we try to solve it many times the same exact way. And that's why you're here today, to help and get help from other people. And be grateful for that help. Just like my son with the la, 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 he's trying to teach me to be a better person. When someone cuts you off in traffic and makes you mad, how do you handle that? Do you start throwing out F-bombs and giving the finger? Yes, right? And you keep doing it again and again and again and again, right? But people are going to keep doing that to you. They're trying to give you feedback on your own self. And if you're willing to listen and be grateful for it, you have an opportunity to be happier and happier and happier each and every day. Now, I love the idea of the 2%, just a little bit more playful, just a little bit more gratitude. If I can just change one person in this audience when they're stuck in traffic and somebody cuts them off, and their first reaction is like, thank you very much. I am so grateful for you because you're showing me that I'm improving as a person because I'm not getting mad anymore. I got my favorite tunes on in my car. I did not get in a wreck. We're still moving along. I feel okay. And that's like, we all look at other people. You look at this couple and you're like, they're probably so happy. But you don't know. He could have, Alzheimer's or arthritis, or we don't know. We don't bring that compassion to a lot of situations. And I think it really shows us our focus. Now I work really hard to bring gratitude when someone gives me a gift. My first thought is, how grateful can I be for this gift? And I'm going to talk about great questions versus what I used to say is, okay, what's this present going to be like? True story. I know it sounds awful. It is awful. But it's true, and I'm trying to show you I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I have trouble with gratitude a lot of times. But I think it comes down to your why. What is going to allow you to bring more gratitude into your life? What is going to help you make that change? For me, it's these two guys. My wife, of course, too. All three of them are the light of my life. Keep me grounded, keep me sane, keep me giving to others. And you have two young kids. They require a lot of attention. But what I use here in this case is when a lot of tough choices, I try to think of the legacy that I will bring for them. If in 20 years they could look back on a video like this and show it to their friends or show it to their kids, I've done something well. And that's what I think, if you can start to hook into your why, that's going to be a big reason for you to help making that small shift. Okay, I wanted to do this earlier, but of course I got sidetracked. Would everybody stand up? I think we've been sitting too long. Yep, raise your hands in the air. I like that. I want everybody to go, yes! Okay, so I want everybody to find 3 people, tell them your favorite movie, and I want you to say, nice, and give them a high five. Go. Good job. Good job. So the key to that is, how did that make you feel? Good? Anything else? Just good? Woke you up. Nice. That's grateful, right? You feel more alive? All right. Good. Okay, so the one tool, everybody's been giving you tools throughout this theirs is terrible and mine is the only tool that you need. They have fantastic tools. I've talked about envy, and I love Joshua's talk and how being envy of his brother. I felt after every person, I was like, okay, all right, they covered it. I might as well just play videos of all their gratitude little clips, right? But we've got to bring our own stuff to the world. We got to bring our own personality to the world, and we can't be afraid of getting our stink on other people and then them not liking that stink, right? It's just a natural part of life. Some people gravitate towards you, some people won't. So reframing is the tool that I want to talk about. It's stuff we use every single day. A lot of times we can use it in a negative or a positive way, but reframing is a tool that can really be used, if done well, maybe one of the most powerful tools. I wish every school would teach this tool in elementary school, because if you can teach a kid how to reframe a situation, you can teach them to bring more gratitude into their life, be more resilient, and that's a gift that will just keep on giving for the rest of their life. So you know the old adage, making lemonade out of lemons. So when, like I was thinking about Joshua's story and is envious of his brother, but what he realized it. And we all have things we struggle with. But that realization allowed him to be who he is today, to be a great speaker, to be a great author. And same thing goes with you guys. There's so much going on in your everyday life. How can you use that stuff? How can you use that stuff for growth? So next time you're, like I said, you're stuck in traffic, or somebody like that coworker that just will drive you crazy and up the wall. Everybody has them. Like, don't deny that there's not, yeah, right? Like, everybody has that person. Be grateful for them. Try to find ways that you can bring some compassion to the situation, because it's going to go a long, long way to helping you grow. Okay, I want to do this this is called 9 seconds. I want everybody to partner. Everybody partner up with one person. Whoever's closest to this wall is A. Whoever's closest to that wall is B. So everybody partner up. Find one person. Everybody partner up. We're good? Okay? Okay. Partner. 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 Good. Okay? So I want everybody who's looking or who's closer to this wall, I want them to look at the other person deeply into their eyes with love and gratitude and smile at them and say nothing else. And I want the other person not to react. You have 9 seconds. Ready, go. Good, good, good. Okay, switch, switch, switch. Tell me when you're ready. Raise your hand when you're ready. And go. Good, good job. Good job. Raise your hand if that made you feel good. Raise your hand if it made you feel good. Raise your hand if it made you feel good. Yes. Yes, good job. That simple thing we can do every single day is smile at somebody and send them love. That is the greatest gift we can give somebody, and not judge them, not think negative thoughts about them, but just send them the gift of a smile. Such a small thing that goes such a long way. How do we do this, though? How do we bring this more gratitude in their life? And it becomes down to triggers. For me, it's an orange. You know when that orange gets underneath your, and you can smell it? But you remember how good that orange tastes, right? Yeah. If it was a bad orange, that doesn't help out very much. True, you're right. But if it's a good one, it's like, oh yeah, that was a good little memory. So you have to think, what triggers you to bring more gratitude into your life? Is it the morning shower? Is it just putting on your shoes? Every morning, can you have some gratitude in your life for yourself, for others? And this is what's really important, is it starts with yourself. It's so important to have internal gratitude, internal thoughts that help you say, hey, good job today, Carl, because a lot of people don't help us out in that category all the time. But if we can do it for ourselves, we don't always need somebody else. It's nice, but we don't always need it. Your head on a pillow. So tonight, when you put your head down, what are 3 things you can be grateful for? And I'd like you to write them down real quick. It could just be one word. And then, if you can, rip out that piece of paper and put it next to your nightstand. I know a lot of you are traveling. Try to maybe put in your wallet so you know. Put it next to your nightstand so when you turn out the light, you think of these 3 things. These 3 things that you can focus on, that you can really enjoy and remember. Because it's important to be able to let go of stuff, but it's also important to have those things that we can hold on to and help us remember how important it is to have gratitude in our life. Because if you ask yourself a question like, like I said with how badly is this gift gonna be? If we ask that, or how much gratitude can I bring to this experience? It's a completely different take on the same exact situation. It's that question. So can you ask yourself that question? If you notice yourself complaining a little bit, how can you turn that question around? Think about, what is the heaviest thing that's weighing on your heart right now? What is it? Could be a friend, difficulty with a friend or family member, or a career. What is that thing? Because there's something in all, we struggle every single day. Every day we struggle. But that is something that we should be appreciative. Because when we stop struggling, where are we? We're dead. Right? So there's always something. There's always something, even if it is that annoying coworker that came in and complained about the cold weather outside, and you can say, yeah, she reminded me that maybe the cold weather isn't so bad. I complained about that too, but I realized maybe I shouldn't complain about it. Maybe I should be glad that I can still feel the cold on my skin. I can still feel the rain on my skin. So the idea is, how can you use this problem to help you make you into a better person? That's why we're here today, right? We're here to just get that 1% a little bit happier. So think about that. Think about what you could do to have that one thing that maybe you complained about help you live a better life, or one thing that's weighing on your heart. In my case, with my dad, I think of all the tools that he gave me. I started writing a book called Bring Gratitude. And I love Marley's idea of the cards. I told her, I was I got to steal that. That's so good. I want to create gratitude questions. On this site, it's brand new. I just put it together about 3 weeks ago, so there's not a lot of stuff there. There is an email course for 7 days where it basically sends you an email and asks you a question. The idea is help you reframe how you ask yourself those questions. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.